Why do we hate mathematics? Part 2. We hate math simply because we are always overloaded with too many problems to solve, without being told why we need to solve those problems or how to make it easier for us. The 20 steps to make mathematics easy helps us to simplify the process. How to study maths when the subject feels so difficult. Many students find it very difficult to solve maths problems. They keep attempting and somehow either they get stuck in the middle or if they get to the answer they find that it is not right. How to solve this problem. How to study maths, especially when the subject feels so difficult. Follow the steps below one after the other. Don't skip any step. Don't jump any step because these steps are progressive. If you don't succeed in completing a step, you must not continue. Make sure you finish the earlier step successfully and then come back here. Pick up one chapter from your maths textbook that is difficult for you and apply these steps diligently. You will then see that your maths performance improves a lot. Step 1. Revise earlier learning. The first job you should do without assuming anything is to make sure that your previous record is thorough. All you must do is pick up 10 problems randomly from the earlier question papers and try to solve them. If you get 8 or more problems right, then you can continue with the next step. Otherwise, do this first exercise until you get at least 8 of them right. You may not be able to score 80% on your earlier syllabus because of the following reasons. You may not have understood the concept clearly. You may not remember the formulas correctly. You may not have followed the steps suitably. You may have missed the rationale behind the calculation. You may have erred while putting the signs properly. Whatever the reason, check it, correct it, and keep at it until you get 80%. Don't be in a hurry to finish everything in one go. What you learn now is going to help you throughout your life. Step 02. Analyze the first problem. Once you have decided on the chapter in the current syllabus, take the first problem and try to analyze it. What is the question about? What exactly should you get as an answer? How do you derive the steps? What kind of thinking is involved? How many substitutions are there? How many deductions are there? What formula is being applied and why? What rule is being followed and why? Step 03. Inverted triangle. Do not be in a hurry to pick up a similar problem from the exercise section and try to copy the solution. This is the greatest mistake made by almost all students. There are few more stages of preparation before you do it. Imagine an inverted triangle. Look at the problem and try to fill in the gaps. On the worksheet, draw an inverted triangle as shown above, and answer the following questions. Find out how many steps are there to arrive at the solution. What happens in each step? Write down next to the step. Sometimes a value is assumed, a parameter is added, a substitution is done, or a deduction is undertaken. Whatever happens, note it down until you reach the solution. Once you complete this exercise, compare the problem with the solution. How are they different? What insight comes through? Step 04. Counting steps. The most important aspect of the whole exercise is to remember the number of steps you need to solve the problem. Each problem has a fixed number of steps, and every time you come across a problem, always remember to count the number of steps. In the earlier example, only 5 steps have been shown for illustrative purposes. In actual cases, it could be more. Just look at the other problems solved in the textbook within the same chapter, and see if the number of steps changes or remains constant. If they change, then try to analyze why there is a change. You have chosen the easiest problem in the chapter by taking the first problem. Determine how things are added as the content progresses. Step 05. Compare first with the last. Compare the first problem with the last problem, and then come down to the other problems. This is essential to understand the variation in the concept and the application of the concept. Each problem in the chapter should be compared with the first problem so that you will have an idea of what changes have happened between them. Step 06. Follow the rules like BODMAS. Maths is highly systematic in its functioning and adheres to the rules very strictly. Errors creep in when these rules are either ignored or forgotten. Check what kind of rules are being followed in the chapter. Addition, subtraction, division, indices, power, exponential, simplification, estimation, etc. Step 07. Remember formulas. You must remember the formula at any cost. To achieve this, you have to know the formula by heart. Try to write down the formula without referring to any notes or textbook. Do this every day until you feel you are thorough. Then reproduce it after a gap of 3 days, 1 week, 1 fortnight, and 1 month. Step 08. Prepare charts. Make separate charts of rules, formulas, symbols, diagrams, etc. These charts will not only help you to remember things vividly but also minimize your exam preparation. You can even devise strategies to make separate charts, for example, one chart on area, another on volume, etc. Step 09. Extract common factors. These charts will also help you in extracting common factors between one problem and the other. Suppose you choose volume, you can see what is common between the volumes of almost all shapes, whether it is a cube, sphere, cuboid, square, circle, pyramid, prism, cone, etc. Step 10. Remember unique factors. Similarly, identify unique factors. There are certain things you consider in some calculations that you will never consider in other calculations. Extracting these unique factors will help you to understand the special characteristics. For example, if you choose area, you can now see what is unique between the areas of a triangle, circle, square, rectangle, trapezium, rhombus, equilateral triangle, sphere, semicircle, etc. Step 11. Go to the basics when stuck and apply your knowledge. In case you are stuck somewhere in the middle while trying to solve the problem, don't refer to the textbook or notes to immediately correct your mistakes. This is the gravest mistake almost everyone will make. The correction will happen on paper because you have copied it. But correction will not happen in your brain, where the information is stored. Chances are the same thing is bound to happen later too. So try to reason out why you are stuck. Sometimes we may have forgotten some basic principles. So go back to basics and verify where you have gone wrong. Only then, come back to this problem, apply what you have learned, and try to solve the problem without any help. Step 12. Variation due to a change from plus to minus. Once you successfully solve a problem, do not stop there. Change the sign from plus to minus once and see how the calculation varies from one problem to another. Now you will know the importance of plus and minus. The majority of the students make the mistake of writing plus for minus and vice versa. This is what leads them to miscalculations. In addition, change the value of just one parameter, and see how the calculation differs from the original. This kind of manipulation during practice is necessary for us to find the nuances in maths. Step 13. Try to proceed from the answer to the problem. Another manipulation you can do is to see how things add up when you proceed from the answer to the question. If you can see the differences that occur in each step and how important it is, you will be able to master maths. Step 14. Choose randomly and apply formulae. Pick up problems randomly from different sections of the book when you practice. Don't stick to one chapter only. Remember that questions in the examination come randomly. They don't mention that the first problem is from the first chapter, and so on. When you do this during practice, you will have control over judging the questions correctly. Doing this will also let you know which formula to use and when. Many times, students get confused when they see the problem. They don't know if they have to use linear equations or quadratic equations when they encounter a problem. If you have understood the nature of the problem and the use of the formulas, then maths will become your favorite subject. Step 15. Clarify when the problem is given in words. Read the problem, convert it into a chart or a graph or a diagram, and note down the numbers, values, and symbols used in the question. Read the problem once again, but start from the end and proceed to the beginning of the problem. In case you have missed something during the first reading, you will get it in the second reading. Before you attempt to answer, convert the given problem into a diagram, especially in geometry. Step 16. Recreate formula. The best way to remember the formula is to recreate it. When you recreate, you will know why exactly addition or subtraction happens. Why is there a division in most of the formulas? What is the importance of multiplication? What role does the notation play? Step 17. Don't keep working day and night. Learn how to practice. Identify mistakes made in the past and don't repeat a mistake. Make new mistakes and try to correct them. You can afford to make mistakes during practice, but not during the examination. If you know what mistakes you make now, you will not repeat them later. There is a method to practice, and it has to be systematic. Go through my article on how to practice. Maths is a skill, and it must be practiced using the trial and error method only. Step 18. Don't keep the textbook or notes open when you solve the problem. As much as possible, the textbook or notes should be kept closed. The less you depend upon them, the more your learning will be. They should be used as a frame of reference and not as a crutch. Step 19. Warm up for mathematics before the exam. Don't sit and practice till late at night just before the exam. I have seen plenty of students who prepare the night before only to come and sleep during the exam. Even when we wake them up and ask them to wash their faces, they continue their slumber. Lack of sleep hampers our performance. Instead, go through the charts you have prepared and think about the problems you may encounter during the examination. It doesn't cost to guess. Just before the exam, do some simple calculations so that the brain warms up for more complicated problem solving. In addition, mentally go through the formulas and ensure you get them right. Step 20. Reduce fear, anxiety, and stress. What most of the students have picked up is an unnatural fear of maths. It almost becomes a phobia in a few students. As you practice associating fear with maths, you start being anxious about your performance. Then there is stress to please your parents and teachers. Instead of yielding to these emotions, make sure that you have nothing to worry about, as you have mastered maths. All these and more are available in the book. Reframe Your Intelligence Through Maths. Please note that it is not a book of mathematics, but rather a psychologist's view on why we are afraid of math and how to overcome such fears, anxieties, and aversions. As long as these fears persist, we may struggle to enjoy maths and achieve good scores. This book provides an insight into how to make maths easy for us, how to understand maths, what kinds of thinking are involved in maths, and how to practice maths. Link is in the description. If you are mathematically inclined, you can go through this ebook, Thinking Skills in Mathematics, to know how these skills are used in mathematics. This ebook is free when you purchase the ebook. Reframe Your Intelligence Through Maths. So, try to follow these 20 steps one after another. There are no shortcuts in life. You may think, why struggle so hard? The advantage of a scientific method is, you need to train only once. Afterward, it is just practice. There is no need to keep learning the same thing over and over again. We can invest the same time to learn something new. All the best for your next maths exam.